What's up, people? Welcome back to Internash. All of us are eagerly waiting for Australian borders to open up. There are over 160,000 international students who are waiting for borders to open up so that they can come to Australia and resume their studies. And in this video, we are covering everything that we know about reopening the borders. Primarily, we are covering 3 points. Number one, what is happening with vaccines and whether international students will be able to get vaccine or not. Number two, what is happening with the exemption of international students from the travel ban petition, how to sign that petition and what is the link, everything about that petition. And number three, what are different states doing for reopening the borders for international students and how the whole scenario looks like. So if you're somebody who wants to come to Australia or waiting for borders to open up, then this video is just for you. So check it out. Before we get into the video, if you are somebody who's watching our video for the first time, we make all the videos for international students, all the videos on accommodation, costs of living, reopening the borders, how to find a job, everything that an international student needs. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. Getting back to the video, let's talk about vaccines first. So Australian government, federal government has entered into 4 separate agreements for the supply of COVID-19 vaccine, and once it is proven that it is safe and effective, they'll start rolling out to give COVID-19 vaccines to people in Australia. The federal government has announced that they are hoping to give the first dose or first batch of COVID-19 vaccine by mid to late February 2021. The question is whether international students will be allowed to get these vaccines. So international students have an Australian visa, and all the people who have Australian visa, they will be eligible to get COVID-19 vaccine, which is a really good news. We don't know when they'll start rolling out to international students, but we know that international students will be eligible to get COVID-19 vaccine. We got this information about vaccine on Insider Guide's website. A huge shout out to them. They have written an article that explains everything about international students getting vaccines. So I have given the link in the description. If you want to know more about this specific topic, you can go to that link and read the whole article. Moving on to point number 2, and that is about the petition to exempt international students from the travel ban and allow them to enter Australia and resume their studies in person. And before I get into that, I just want to give huge shout out to all the people who had sent us Instagram DMs. We can't reach out and respond to all the DMs. We try really hard to do that, but because of you guys, we are covering this topic in this video. So massive shout out to them. If you're not following us on Instagram, you should definitely follow us on Instagram. We try and create videos on every week, but if there is any major news in the middle of the week, we post it on our Instagram and Facebook. So do follow us there. Moving on to the petition. So this petition is about exempting international students and letting them in the country. There are already 8,000 people who have signed this, and this is how you can sign that petition.
The link in the description to get this petition. Once you're on the page, read the petition reason and request. The request is to exempt international students and allow them to enter Australia to continue their education. There are 8,000 people who have already signed this petition, and the closing date is 10th of February. So if you scroll down, you can just enter your name, surname, and email address and click on the button sign. You just have to agree to the terms and condition, and then you can sign for this petition.
Moving on to third and final point of when will international students be allowed to come back to Australia and resume their studies. Now, if somebody tells you a specific date, that this is the date when international students will be allowed, or they say that Feb 2021 or March 2021 is 100% international students will be in Australia, do not believe them, because there are no official news when international students will be allowed, but a lot of states are planning for that. So in previous video, we had talked about that there are 2 major things we need to sort before we get international students in Australia. Number 1, we need to make sure that there is no community transmission. And for the first time this week in so many months, there has been no community transmission of COVID-19 virus, which is a massive thing and a really good news. And number two, we are waiting for all the Australian citizens to return to Australia first. And 80% of all the Australian citizens who are stuck abroad have returned to Australia. So both these things are really good, and we can hope that international students will be returning to Australia quite soon. Another good news is that this week 1200 internationals have came to Australia for Australian Open. So all the tennis stars and people helping them from all over the world have come to Australia, and all the quarantine arrangement have been made for them. So once this is done, then all states will have a lot more faith that these quarantine requirements are being fulfilled and we can have international students in Australia. Another thing is that all the people in international education sector, for example, accommodation providers and universities, are advocating for international students to return to Australia, which means it's not just international students, but everybody in the sector wants international students to return, and that is real good news. Recently, Victorian government announced that they are hoping that they can give something to federal government for international students to return in March 2021 or February 2021. We still don't have a specific date or news, but they have said that they are hoping that in the first week of February, they can publish a plan of return of international students. Similarly, other states such as South Australia or Queensland is also working for the return of international students. We do not have any specific news from New South Wales because they've just dealt with the second wave of coronavirus in their state. So hopefully New South Wales will also publish a statement for the return of international students. This is everything that we know about returning of international students in Australia. If you know anything more, always feel free to write in the comment section. If you want us to make a specific video on another topic, write that in the comment section. Hopefully we can make that video quite soon. Hope you enjoyed this video, guys. If you haven't hit the like button, hit the like button and share this video with as many people as you can. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. See you in the next video.